Greetings. Today we're gathered here with respect, dignity, and from a grateful community to dedicate the memorial to Sergeant Joseph Bergeron, who paid the ultimate sacrifice to protect and serving our community. And with that, today's memorial will recognize that sacrifice that was paid. There's a lot that goes into putting this together. I have to take a moment, really take a moment, because this was a broad group of people that came together to help put this together. It started with a call from Bob Schmidt, who's a resident here in the community, to my office, saying we really need to think about how we can recognize the sacrifice that was paid by Sergeant Bergeron. We started some conversations. Sergeant Bradley got involved from the St. Paul Police Department. Tom Lundman's family, a neighbor of Sergeant Bradley, donated the rock. Show and Rock Mortuary donated the engraving, the labor, and came out on site. Truck Utilities, Technical Erectors, Ray Anderson and Son, Don Bateman. As you can tell, that there was many people that was a part of putting this together, and for each and every one of them, it was their time, their commitment, their opportunity to give back with love the appreciation and recognition that this community is going to express today. I do want to recognize that Sergeant Bergeron's family is here, extended family and friends, and I just want to take a moment to recognize the pain and sorrow that you have suffered, to let you know that you have a grateful community around you and will be around you forever. With that, I would like to bring up, I have Martin Luden from Senator Amy Klobuchar's office, who's going to read a letter from the Senator. Martin.
Good morning. On behalf of the Senator, I also just want to offer thanks to everyone who is involved in procuring this memorial and making this happen. The Senator's not able to be here, but she did send me with a letter. Dear friends, thank you so much for inviting me to today's ceremony, and I'm so sorry that I'm unable to attend in person. While it is sometimes painful to remember, in doing so we honor those who have passed before us, and they live on in those remembrances. Every day, police officers, firefighters, and paramedics wake up and put on a uniform. They walk out the door and leave behind family and friends to fulfill an oath to protect and serve. They don't promise to protect Monday through Friday or to serve 9 to 5. They do it all the time, in all kinds of weather, on holidays and birthdays. They are our rocks and our protectors. And so this is a fitting memorial, 30 tons of rock, to a man who was solid for so many people. Solid with the police department for 26 years. Solid for his wife and daughters and family. Solid for the citizens he gave his last full measure protecting and serving. Even though we still mourn his loss, I hope and pray that this can become a place of peace, of healing, and of fond remembrance. My prayers continue to be with Sergeant Bergeron's family and with all those whose lives he touched as a police officer. In his sacrifice, may we find inspiration and a model for service in our lives. These are the stories I carry with me every day as I serve our state in Washington, D.C., and I am proud to be your senator. Sincerely, Amy Klobuchar, United States Senator.
Martin, please pass along our thanks to Senator Klobuchar for that letter. At this time, I'd like to call up Mayor Rosbach from Maplewood. He would like to say a few words. Mayor?
Good morning. I want to start out by saying that I'm completely inadequate for this task. I've dedicated a lot of years towards serving my city, but it pales in comparison to the service that's provided by any of our first responders in any of our communities. Without them, we would not be able to have the civilized life in the safe neighborhoods and the ability to get emergency care when we need it. So I will do my best to represent our city but it is truly our first responders who are our true representatives. I want to make sure that I thank every member of the Maplewood Police Department. This ordeal has tested their professionalism and their work ethic, and yet they come to work every day and perform their job. I also want to make sure I thank Mayor Coleman, the City of St. Paul, and particularly the St. Paul Police Department. Their involvement from May 1st on through today has been amazing in this situation and their work to help create this memorial. Every organization has people within it that are the people who form the foundation for that organization. They're the people that others look to know what the standards are that are set, to know what ethics are the ones that they need to pay attention to and follow, and to create the work habits for an organization. Sergeant Bergeron was one of those people in the Maplewood Police Department. And as Senator Klobuchar mentioned in her letter, that's why I find this particular memorial to be so fitting. It in itself is a foundation that will outlive all of us and everyone in the generations behind us. In any time where there's a loss of human life, the key, in my opinion, is how you remember, because the impact and the person who has passed is never gone as long as they're remembered. So now, every day, as people pass by on this street or come down this trail, they'll have the opportunity to once again remember the ultimate sacrifice of Sergeant Bergeron. I also want to thank the Bergeron family for the years that they allowed us to have Joe be our foundation in Maplewood. Thank you.
Mayor Chris Coleman from St. Paul.
To Joe's family, the officers, community members that are gathered here, I want to thank you for this memorial to Joe. Thank you for being here and for your service. In 1968, when Martin Luther King was assassinated, Robert Kennedy spoke to a grieving crowd in Indianapolis. He quoted an old Greek poet. He said, "Even in our sleep, pain which cannot forget falls drop by drop upon our heart, until in our despair, against our will, comes wisdom through the awful grace of God." I'm not sure what wisdom we have through the pain that we have felt with Joe's death, but I know we can never forget who he was in life, what he was for our community, what he meant to his family. As the senator suggested, this rock represents the rock that Joe was to his family and to his community. The pain that we feel will one day give way to good memories, happy times, and an understanding of what Joe has left for us and for this community. But right now, the pain is too severe, it's too deep, and that is what we mostly feel. But to his family, Joe will never be forgotten. By the officers of this community, by the people who he served, nor the future generations that will come by this monument. Pause for just a moment, and a child will look up and say, "Who was Joe Bergeron?" And the parent will tell the story of Joe Bergeron, the hero. Joe Bergeron, the father, the husband. Joe Bergeron, one of us, who will never be forgotten. Thank all of you who have made that a possibility and the truth. Joe will never be forgotten.
Chief Smith from the St. Paul Police Department.
I'll keep my remarks brief today. It's a tough day to be back here again. I haven't been here since May. I know it's tough for a lot of people, and that's why we lean on each other. I want to thank Tim Bradley and others who really came up with this idea of this just fitting tribute to Joe Bergeron, who truly is a hero to all of us, to his family, because as the mayor said, he was a rock. I've heard so many stories about Joe. I didn't know him well personally. We did know each other. He's a great father, brother, he's uncle. He is a mentor. We've got some of his other family here today. We've heard so many stories. Stories are important in life. And know that we will never forget Joe, because he did pay the ultimate sacrifice, keeping our cities and our community safer. He really did. To my brothers and sisters in law enforcement here today, a lot of people don't understand that when we lose one of our own, we all have heavy hearts. It affects each and every one of us. So what do we do when that happens? We lean on each other. We're a brotherhood, we're a sisterhood. It doesn't matter if you wear the uniform of the St. Paul Police Department, the Maplewood Police Department, the Roseville Police Department. We're a brother and sisterhood that come together when we have to, and we lean on each other. And I will end with this, to the Bergeron family. We are there for you also, to lean on us. We truly do care. Use us, lean on us. From Maplewood to St. Paul, we care. We will never forget Joe, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Chief Tamala from Maplewood Police Department.
Good morning. The thank yous have been expressed, but I just need to reiterate a few of those. For the community as a whole, Ramsey County, St. Paul, everyone came together to make this a memorial to Joe. I've known Tim Bradley for a lot of years, too many to admit to, and if anybody is capable of moving a 30-ton rock somewhere, Tim is the person. Thank you, Tim. To the Lindemann family, the former owner of this rock, thank you. I know it was in your family for many years, and we're very appreciative to have it here. I know when Tim first came up with the concept of moving this rock here, it was to show to the community that we were reclaiming this sacred land. We've lost a lot. The community is reclaiming its land. But this 30-ton rock is just a grain of dust in comparison to the void that's left in this community, that's left in the Bergeron family, that's left in the Maplewood Police Department. So as the community passes by this rock every day, thank you. Thank you for taking back this piece of your community. But never forget the void that's left. Thank you again.
It's difficult to know how to end a service like this. I've been to too many of them. And what really hurts, and what I never want to hear again, is a bagpipe playing Amazing Grace when we've lost a police officer or a firefighter. It hurts. And to the Bergeron family, thank you so much for sharing Joe with us. For those of us that are in law enforcement, have been in law enforcement, you go to work every day and you never expect anything like this is ever going to happen to you. But when you've been in it long enough, you know that these kinds of things can happen. And every police officer that's here today feels and shares the pain. And the loved ones of those police officers will never ever forget, and we will be here for you. Thanks everyone for coming out, and just think about those words, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. And I think the last verse of that song is something that we'll take with us forever. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Thank you so much for coming out, and God bless you, Bergeron family, and all the police officers and friends that are here.